We in the building, bitch. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building, bitch. We in the building.
Finally, RZeroB and PTA have come back to Giants Talk, which means that finally RZeroB and PTA have come back to BGN, which means that your favorite Domino's delivery boy has come back to talk Giants footy ball, where you can get the best damn pizzas ever. Call Domino's now and place your order, or download the Domino's app.
We are not sponsored. We are not sponsored by Domino's motherfucking pizza. Okay, I would not lower myself to accept a sponsor from Domino's fucking pizza. I'm from Jersey, where we make real pizza, where the best pizza on the planet is. Okay, so I'm sorry, no disrespect to you, Domino's, but they're not sponsoring this mofo. No, yo.
Put the chat up over here.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, putting the chat up there. What's going on, PTA? Oh no, my bad.
Yeah, caught yourself, didn't you?
I did. Sorry, let me get back in character.
It's the pizza. You can smell it, and yeah,
it's going crazy.
Cheesy bread.
So listen, on today's show, we're going to have a little segment called I Told You So.
Oh, man, we not. Oh.
I'm just kidding.
We told you so.
I did, motherfucker. Me. Not you. Me.
We
this
told
guy.
y'all. We.
No, not we. No. There definitely ain't no room on this fucking train.
We did tell y'all, because I never said we was beating no San Francisco. We did tell
about
y'all.
The season so far. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Okay?
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the state of the Giants. We're going to be talking about where we're at so far, 4 weeks in, and how the game on Monday night is make or break for the New York Football Giants and the 2023 season. Right? We're going to be breaking down the roster. We're going to be talking about leading up to this game. How can the Giants win? What can the Giants do to win? We'll talk about the opponent. We'll talk about briefly. We'll talk about the 49ers game a little bit. And, we may have some guests coming in. Again, we
always open a door. So
we always open the door.
Yeah, people just show up when they want to.
Our house is your house. So you want to come in, you want to talk some Giants ball, come on in. We'll talk. You want to have a couple of slices of pizza or something like that, let me know. I got them on deck. Okay. Holla. So let's get into it.
Well, we need to spell that. We didn't smell that pizza though.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, grab your beer, grab your pizza, sit down in your chair, get ready, because we are the jabroni beating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising. Yeah, we got Seattle coming into town. We're going to get our candy asses whipped with a frown, and we on to a top 10 pick in the 2024 NFL draft. If you smell what RZeroB, the PTA, mainly RZeroB, because he doesn't agree with that take, is cooking. What's up, PTA?
Giants land has just been an absolute cesspool lately.
Really?
I want to start there. That's actually where I kind of want to start. Is Giants land is an absolute cesspool, man.
Kick it off.
And again, as I always say, every year when y'all start doing this, man, I'm disappointed. Like I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that like, you know, y'all treating each other the way y'all treating each other on the interwebs. You know what I mean? Like y'all gotta do better. And I say that as someone who, you know, said a few things on the X, gonna give it to you this week, right? And that ain't had nothing to do with football. I mean, but like y'all, oh man, y'all gotta do better. Y'all gotta do better. I want to just give some shout outs to the folks that are in the building real quick. So shout out to Sarge. What's going on? So shout out to Chris. Chris Pieces in the building. Shout out to Austin Kenny. Austin, what's going on with you,
What up,
man?
Austin?
Damn, Austin Kenny is in the building. What's up, man? Where you hiding? Listen, man. Don't come up in here with that rigmarole, okay? We don't need none of that hib jib for dib. We don't need none of that, okay? So yeah, man. You know, I know like the Eagles look good or whatever, you know. It's cool,
We
man.
expected that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, y'all. Listen, here's what I want y'all to take solace in before we start, you know, breaking down why we're pissed off at this team, okay? We've lost some tough games to some really, really good opponents, okay? Like we've legitimately lost some tough games to some really good opponents that we weren't ready to you know, match up with. But there's one team that didn't beat us, okay? There's one team that we did not lose to this year. And that's the Arizona Cardinals. So take solace in that, y'all, that we ain't taking no L to the Arizona Cardinals, all right?
No, we definitely did not.
So listen. Yeah, man. Oh, bro. Listen, I'm at a weird place as a Giants fan. I'm in a weird place as a guy with a camera and a fan. I'm in a weird spot, man, because like I don't think the sky is falling. I don't think that we're in like super big trouble. I do know that we got some opponents coming up that are going to be tough. This schedule has gotten harder and harder as the weeks have passed, man. This schedule seems to get harder and harder, especially when we have to face up against a team in a few weeks that just hung up 70 on the Broncos.
Damn near looked like a fucking Madden game.
Like, yo, like I mean, like, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm not like I'm not a little concerned, but I'm not all the way worried, right? Because I still feel like this team is trying to figure it out. Now, I'm disappointed that we're getting ready to go into week 4. We're in practice for week 4, and we're talking about figuring it out. That's a quarter through the season, and that's a sad state of affairs, man. But it is what it is. I don't think the sky's falling, and I'm not ready to jump out the window yet. But I understand why people are. I really do. So let's quickly talk about the San Francisco game, right? I'm gonna be completely honest, man. I as I said, I didn't think we were gonna win that game. I didn't think we had a shot at winning that game. So I went into that game really just trying to see what I could see, right? I want to see our players. I want to see what they're doing against some of these tougher teams. Like how are we matching up against them? How are our players matching up one-on-one against some of these players or whatever? So like that's what I went into the San Francisco game, anticipating. I will say that the Giants kind of sucked me in a little bit there because I thought maybe we could make another comeback. I thought maybe we could make some good halftime adjustments and figure out a way to win this football game. But that obviously didn't happen because San Francisco proceeded to just beat the shit out of us in the second half. Poor tackling. Don't know why Kayvon is consistently dropping back in coverage. Not sure why this man's not rushing the ball more. Offensive line still is garbage. Daniel Jones isn't playing well. Okay, let's call a spade. And I know I'm supposed to be on the Daniel Jones train, but that don't mean that I got to drink the Kool-Aid and lie. Okay, if the kid don't play well, the kid don't play well. Kid didn't play well. All right, kid looked scared the same way he looked scared against Dallas. I don't know what the hell going on with Daniel Jones. He should be more comfortable. This is year 2. It almost feels like this is year 1 for this mofo. I don't get it. Go ahead, Rob. Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, I'm reading what Chris said. He's got GCCS. Giants can't compete syndrome.
Yo.
That's fucking hilarious. No, look, I mean, like, we knew that this game, we weren't going to win this game. You're right. I think I called the game, like, I think I said 34, like 13 or something like that. I think it ended up being like 30-12.
Yeah, it was like 30-12.
And so I was pretty damn close. Look, at the end of the day, man, we just didn't look good, and, investments were made. And the investments were made. Look, and I've been having these conversations now for over a week. And Daniel Jones is the highest paid player on this team. And he is he plays the most important position on this team. And right now, when you are the highest paid player, and the quarterback is on any team, right? You are paid to cover up deficiencies that are on a roster, whether that's being young in a specific area of the team, right? Maybe not having the greatest offensive line, maybe the weapons not being, top tier, right? And right now, although he's not, the main problem, he's not the solution. He's not giving us anything, in 2 games versus 2 elite teams. Daniel Jones is I think he's 37 of 67 for 241 yards, 4 interceptions and no touchdowns. That's not good. And the latest stat, and I don't want to misquote him, but the statistic heard around the world today via a clip, courtesy of Authentic in the Beard. Great show. Friends of the show. Great
Why
show.
y'all do that for? God,
is in the regular season, Daniel Jones hasn't had back-to-back consecutive games in the regular season with 2 or more passing touchdowns. It's been 36 regular season games. And he even alluded to today in his space where, what about the rushing touchdowns? He said, okay, it's 26 games if you include the rushing touchdowns where he hasn't thrown for 2 or more passing touchdowns. That's still a lot. He's had 57 starts, and in 36 of those 57 starts, he's gone consecutive games in the regular season without 2 or more passing touchdowns. And that is a guy that Joe Shane and Brian Dable invested $160 million thinking that he was going to lead this franchise. And listen, he very well may turn it around, right? Maybe the light bulb clicks, but he's not playing the way a quarterback that's been paid should be playing right now. And I brought up this stat, and I think I might still have the tab open on my thing here. Okay. I'm going to give you statistics here. And this is a quarterback who I do not think is better than Daniel Jones. Hands down, I would take Daniel Jones over this quarterback, right? But I'm going to read you some stats. This quarterback this season in 3 games, they played equal amount of games, right? Has, let's see here. Where is it? Okay, here we go. He's got 82 passing attempts, 59 completions. He's got a completion percentage of 72. He's averaging 6.7 yards per pass. He has 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And he's got 549 yards passing. And I believe Daniel Jones has 97 passing attempts. He's got 582 yards passing. 562. He has 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's averaging about 5.8 yards per pass. Do you know who that quarterback is, guys? That the first numbers? Joshua Dobbs.
I knew that's where you were going. I knew you were going to fucking Joshua Dobbs. We beat him. Who did he ever beat?
But here's my point. And here's the other part of this, guys. Joshua Dobbs has led a team in back-to-back weeks that score 28 points. They put up 28 points on us, and they put 28 points on the Cowboys. Now, he played, granted, same players. You could say they had an off day and everything like that, or whatever the case may be, right? The fact of the matter is he played the same defense that we played, and Joshua Dobbs was able to move the football and was able to allow them to put up 28 points on the board.
Can I just make one caveat?
Sure.
Diggs is not playing. And he's one of the best.
Fine.
He's one of the best cornerbacks. The field's cut in half when Diggs there. You don't want to throw to his side because you know he can gank it from you, but he's not there anymore. So it might be a little bit different.
Fine. If you wanna say because Diggs isn't out there, fine.
I'm not saying that's the entire
it's
reason.
valid. No, that's valid.
Saying
no, that's
you
valid.
have to take that into account.
That's valid. That's valid. That's valid. The bottom line of where I'm going with this is even when Josh was playing us, and I get Daniel looked great in the second half of that game, but Joshua Dobbs throughout the course of the 3 games has looked like he's barely practiced, and he looks like he's running that offense efficiently. The way he's maneuvering in the pocket, he's throwing with anticipation, he's throwing receivers open, right? And Jones is struggling. And Joshua Dobbs didn't get paid $160 million. Daniel Jones did. And I think that Daniel Jones is a better quarterback. And he's just not performing the way that he needs to be performing. So it's alarming. It's alarming as a whole, to see that. And so, it is what it is. But this Monday is a big game, and we're going to get into it, during the show. But, the other thing the last thing I'll say about the 49ers game is that you had the 49er players mocking us, laughing at Jones, and which I feel was a valid point that they brought up. We didn't run Jones. Jones didn't run. They were Bosa said it. Warner said it. They were not, bro. The announcers were talking about it. I think it was Richard Sherman brought up. They lost last year. 49ers. They lost to Marcus Mariota. They lost to mobile quarterbacks last year. And why not go ahead and freaking just run him? Barkley's not there. Run him. And they didn't do it. And they said, I don't understand why he didn't do it. So, it's alarming. It's concerning.
Shout out to the homie Sarge. Is that who is that in the dark? I can't even see who that is.
I'm sitting in the dark.
Sal. That's the homie Sal.
That is the content coordinator, Sal.
The content coordinator.
He doesn't create it. He just pushes it all into a pile.
He's the
facilitator. He's the facilitator.
I'm sitting in the dark because I'm watching my basement's projector. That's all.
Oh, sexy. Oh, sexy. Listen, I'm not mad at you. Down here in my little man cave, I got the TV on and shit. It's okay. For sure. So okay. Sarge, man, I'm sure you kind of talked a little bit about this here and there and everywhere, man. But what did you think about the Giants' performance against the 49ers? Just really.
So, briefly. I mean, I have my own. My biggest thing was I said that they were going to win because I'm psychotic and I'm a homer and I'm going to keep doing that. I'm always going to pick them to win. I don't care, But my thing is I didn't want them to go out there and get embarrassed. And I really don't think we didn't get dog walked like we did in week 1. We didn't have 50 points dropped on us like Denver did. We didn't get embarrassed like the Bears did. I mean, we lost. We had a couple opportunities to steal that game because Brock Purdy was trying to give away that ball in the first quarter.
I mean,
We had a bunch of opportunities.
Oh my God, man!
He was just throwing that ball up there.
There's if you think about it, and then I hear Rob try to gas up Josh Dobbs, so I had to come in because I think I made some of these points last week, and then all of a sudden now Josh Dobbs is a good quarterback because he beat the Cowboys.
Well, I didn't say he was a good quarterback.
I don't know, man. There's a bit of a delay when you jump in, so I had to turn off YouTube to come in here. So there's a bit of a delay. So I don't know what kind of nonsense you're talking over there. Not wearing.
Anyway, what I was doing was, in case you missed it, I brought up Josh Dobbs' stats over the first 3 weeks of the season, comparing it to Jones. And I said I think that Jones is a better quarterback. Obviously, I would take Jones over Dobbs any day of the week.
Hey, Antonio, you want in? You want to come in here?
Come on in, Antonio.
Well, you also got to, and see. Here's the thing, Rob, is you got to take it if you're going to start talking about we're going to look at stats, we're just going to look at their numbers and talk about who's this number is this person and this number is this person. So look at the difference and which one would you rather have? I would totally rather have this guy, but the numbers don't match up. But you're going to start talking about other stuff. 2 out of those 3 games that Josh Dobbs played in, they played indoors. They played in a dome. Okay? And I'm not excusing bad play because of the weather, because the weather in San Francisco was great. All I'm saying is if you're going to start rattling off facts like that, let's talk about, okay, well, how does he play when the weather's bad? We don't know that. I mean, we could look at what his numbers were like in Pittsburgh when he played there, or in Tennessee where they don't have a dome, where they play outside. But it's I don't know. It's goofy math, but whatever.
Sal, man, give me your thoughts on the Giants San Francisco game.
Here we go.
Very quick, very quickly.
I don't think we're in their class. That's all. I think they toyed with us, if you really want to be honest. I mean,
really? Okay,
yeah.
okay. Wait a minute. Tell me more.
So they had several opportunities to put that game away. We got within 7, and I feel like once we got to 17-12, there was an opportunity to claw back in, and then they just sort of hit the afterburners and took off. They didn't really unleash their full game on us. They played a very conservative game, short passes, just run the ball. They didn't even use McCaffrey that much. What do you have, 18 carries or something like that? They could have used him a lot more. Yeah, I really feel like they played that game. They had a very steady game plan that once they realized that we were not going to put up points, they just kind of played a slow, steady game to get to their point production and win the game fairly easily. I never got the impression that we were in that game. Yes, I agree that on that first drive, we had the opportunity to turn the ball over a couple of times, and that was the chance to actually take control of that game. And our guys can't catch. And that's why they play defense, I guess, but they can't catch the ball. And that was that. And I just feel like they toyed with us after that. I really do. I think if we had played a better offensive game, they would have upped the ante and responded. More offense.
So you're saying they would have went crazy with points if we were putting points up?
I think they would have played a more explosive type game. I think they played a very conservative game because they didn't really need to do much more than that, unfortunately. You heard their defensive players after the game saying they realized that we weren't going to throw the ball, and they had fairly good command of what was going on in that game. So it just sounds like they did just enough to win fairly easily without breaking a sweat. And unfortunately, I think that's kind of what happened. Whereas I think the Cowboys, they came in that first week and they wanted to embarrass us, and they did. And I think the Niners took a much more sort of steady approach to the game, where they were let's just do what we got to do to win the game. Not McCaffrey had a lot of carries coming into that game. I think they were trying to preserve him. So if you look at his workload, it was massive.
All right. So I've got McCaffrey's stats, and this is kind of weird if you watch this. So the 49ers are 3-0. And every single one of their wins, they scored exactly 30 points. Mm-hmm. They scored 30 points against Pittsburgh, 30 against the Rams, and 30 against us. In the first 2 games, McCaffrey was averaging about 20 carries per game and over 100 yards rushing. He had 152 against Pittsburgh. He had 116 against the the Rams, but he only had 85 rushing yards against us. As a team, they only had 140 rushing yards. So there's that.
Yeah. They didn't go crazy. I'm telling you, like they really didn't put
Yeah.
on the afterburners
interesting.
on offense. And I think that was because they had full command of the game. And I mean, I don't know. Did you guys ever get the feeling like we're gonna find our way back in and take the lead in this game? It just never felt like that.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. As we went into halftime, I was thinking, all right, this is a good opportunity for us to go and make some adjustments, come out here, play some competitive ball. And even in saying that, I didn't think we were going to win the game, but I thought it was going to at least still be like a competitive game, and it just wasn't. So I was wrong in thinking that.
I definitely felt that they were kind of just going through the motions, the 49ers. And I remember looking at the TV and I felt like Brock Purdy was like playing the dead or alive game half the time. Like he was like 500 dead or alive. And he was just like throwing the ball up there. Like, and his guys were just coming down with it. And I felt like, okay, like if they're going to fuck around and like just kind of just think they're just going to breeze by, maybe we could capitalize on it at times. Like, all right, well, if they're going to fuck around, just all right, take it. And we never did. And, I noticed that when they were on offense, they were just slow and methodical. They weren't going their fast pace. They were just milking the clock, in my opinion. Like I think they just wanted to get out of that game healthy, get it done, get it over with, and go on to the next week.
What's going on, guys?
Shout out to Antonio. Great tackles. What's going on with you, brother, man? Appreciate you for popping on in here, man. Can we talk about an elephant in the room?
Before you do, though, I think I just want to say that the key reason why you could tell why this game wasn't kind of like it was kind of like they were half-assing it. McCaffrey, the backup running back for McCaffrey, never got as many carries as he did this week. I think that's a dead giveaway. They were kind of like trying to rest their starters and not put them through the grind because obviously it was a short week. So it could have been a combination of it's Thursday, but it's also could have a combination of, our B team could kind of beat the Giants in a way. So
and the announcers actually said that. They were like the previous week. Who's the guy? Is it Earl Mitchell? Is that their backup?
Mitchell, I think it's the backup running back,
Mitchell.
Right, correct.
The announcers even said it was like Al Michael or Herbstreit. They said last week he didn't even like really get any playing time, and he was getting a lot of playing time this week.
He didn't get no burn anyways. It was all pretty much McCaffrey, and this week he got plenty of burn. So again, it could have been a combination of it was Thursday, or it could have been a combination of the Giants are not in our level. We will never know.
Okay, elephant in the room, man. Elephant in the room. What the hell happened to our coaches? Like, are these the same coaches from last year? Or are these different coaches? Because it feels like the play calling sucks.
Right.
It feels like the preparation is terrible. It feels like the halftime adjustments kind of don't really work. Like
it did for Arizona. I feel like Dable called. So I'm sorry for interrupting you. Keep going.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. No, get your thought out, man.
Yeah, no. So I'll say this. I think it's the same coaching staff. What I'm honestly seeing for in terms of, and I'll go for offense first, and whoever wants to call me a hater, go for it. I think that they're trying to open up the offense more for Daniel Jones this year by giving him more dropbacks, letting him decide where he wants to go with the ball more. And in the second game in Arizona at the half, the dropbacks, and I put this on Twitter, the dropbacks, the straight dropbacks on passing plays reduced greatly. It turned a lot into play action and a lot of RPO.
Yes, and that's what he should be doing because that's what he's good at.
But the problem is that's limiting a quarterback to the one read, right? So if you're doing an RPO, you're reading at one guy. You're reading a middle linebacker, let's say, for example. If the middle linebacker crashes, hey, you could run it yourself or you could throw it to your receiver who's running a slant right behind him. That's one read, right? That's you don't have much options there. You're reading one guy. Mm-hmm. When it comes to play action, I'm giving pretty much play action is more than anything. It's a one read play. Why? Because
you cut the field in half when you're running play action because you're bootlegging.
Especially if you're doing a bootleg, and even if you're not doing a bootleg, which that's what they were most successful as a straight drop back play action. It's like read the hitch. If the hitch is open, hit it, which is reading. And usually when you're doing play actions, you're doing flood concepts where you're trying to hit the deepest first. You're reading the first as the deepest, and then you're working your way back down all the way down to your flats. And I just think that Kafka, and this is just my conspiracy theory of it, I think Kafka does believe in Jones, and he's trying to make Jones that next level of a quarterback, and he's giving him more dropbacks. Meanwhile, I do also believe that Dave's believing in Jones, but he just brought it back a little bit in the halftime for the Arizona games, and he was like, "Yo, we're gonna kind of give him, we're gonna shrink the playbook for him, and we're gonna give him what he wants. I mean, what we need in order to win this game." If you go back to that San Francisco game, we didn't run no play action off of shotguns. I think we ran maybe one the entire game. I was like, what's going on here? Like
I don't get it, man.
We had a formula last game. Why did we not do this? And for those people saying, he didn't have enough time to literally, if you go back to watch the Arizona game, all Daniel Jones does on a play action shotgun is literally just put the ball on the guy's stomach and then pull it back out. What I believe that does is that it works. It helps him with his footwork, with his mechanism. And I think that makes him a better quarterback. But when you don't even do that at all, he really doesn't really have time to set his foot. Like, I just feel like when he's doing play action, when he's doing RPO, it focuses his footwork and it makes him just a better quarterback. And I wish that we do that more often. I hope we do that a lot in Seattle. But that's as far as I think of the offense. Listen, I mentioned Daniel Jones, and I only went with Daniel Jones. But that offensive line is also playing really bad. But this is a problem that I saw coming when we're sitting our starters in the preseason and we're not giving them snaps and we're not giving them continuity. So now this offensive line is out here playing with all these different people, but and now it's like, okay, now what? Well, you have no chemistry in this offensive line. Sal was talking about that the whole entire time. Stop swapping guys. Stop moving guys left and right. Well, now this is kind of like our preseason for that offensive line. Now they're learning how to gel when it matters, which is horrendous. Like, this is not the time to let those guys, when it matters. That's why we got embarrassed in week 1. That's why we got semi-embarrassed in week 3. And we were going to get embarrassed against Arizona. Our wide receiver, honestly, the one unit that I'm gonna let kind of pass in this, and it's a half-ass pass, is our wide receivers. Because at the end of the day, if they're not getting enough targets, what can we really talk about? There's very little sample size to tell what the hell is wrong with these wide receivers. And there's plays, that they're being covered, but to me, and in the NFL, everybody's freaking covered for the most part. You got some exceptions where you got wide open guys, but you got to go ahead. And again, this is the 5th year of Daniel Jones, and this what we don't see with this guy. We don't see back shoulder throws. That's completely eliminated. That, I guess, that's not part of his rep. He doesn't like doing that. But again, that's the one unit in the offense that I kind of want to give a pass for now, because it's just inconclusive. It's not that they're good. It's not that they're bad. I just feel like there's too little of a sample size for them. And in terms of defense, I would say that I don't like what Wink is doing, and I think that it was working against bad teams last year. But I feel like with good teams, you have to play coverage because the quarterbacks are gonna eat you up. They love hitting their hot routes. I think Brock Purdy just went to the flats all day. What was his name? Kittle just ran a whole bunch of out routes, and it was just like, why are we not just playing flats, covering the flats underneath on this? And why don't we just like double bracket him? You can't double bracket somebody when you're sending blitzes. Wink blitz an absurd amount of times in this game, and it wasn't working. And you know what he just did? He doubled down on it. I hope this is not the Wink that we're gonna get for the rest of the season, because if it is, the Giants are in trouble when they face against these guys. They don't care about blitz. They've seen blitz, and their offensive, and their coaching staff prepares them for this stuff. You gotta go outside the box against good teams, and we're facing a lot of good teams this year.
And in the spaces, and I don't know if you were there, Antonio, but we had that kid Jules, who was the 49ers fan, who came in, and he brought up Jennings. And Jennings made plays on Thursday night, because Ayuk was going to be there. He brought up Jennings' name,
correct.
and he ended up playing some games, right? it's interesting when you look at the first 3 games last year, right? So we played the Titans, we played the Panthers, and then we played the Cowboys, right? I think going into that game against the Tennessee Titans, coming off a year where what did they were the number 1 seed in the AFC or something like that, or whatever the year prior.
Right.
And so, they were looked at as like a good football team. Jones only threw 21 times in that game. And against the Cowboys, he threw 28 times. The next 2 games after that, he threw the ball over 30 times. Now we played a bad team in Carolina, just like we played a bad team in Arizona week 2. And then week 3, we played Dallas, where he threw the ball, I think, like 32 times. And then we played San Francisco. And when you look at, and the reason why I brought it up is in week 1, we really didn't have to. The game was relatively close for the most part. The game wasn't getting out of control. The defense.
You're talking about the Titans game.
The Titans game. The game never got out of control. We were controlling.
And by the way, somebody could fact check me on this. The Titans haven't won their week 1 game in 4 years in a row. And they've played really bad.
I believe that's true. I believe
I'm pretty sure that's right.
I believe that's accurate.
The Titans just don't come out. They don't
come out strong. They don't come out strong. Yeah, they're not.
We
We controlled Derrick Henry. They really weren't having a lot of explosive plays. So the game was relatively close. So Jones didn't really need to do much. But in week 2 and week 3, we had to do a little bit more. It was more on him to try to go out there and do stuff. Right, we won the game in Arizona or Carolina. We won week 1, and then we ended up losing in week 2. But if you notice, when he needs to do more, and it calls for him to be the difference maker, he just doesn't show up when he's got to throw the ball a lot, and when he has a lot of the passing attempts, he just doesn't perform. And that, to me, like when you look at those first 3 games last year and you look at the first 3 games this year, it almost lines up with like how we played last year. You had a bad team week 2, you had a good team week 1, you had a good team week 3. It just so happened that the Cowboys aren't the Titans and they don't lose opening day very often. It was a division game.
I think they had a 2-game losing streak too. The Cowboys did. Coming into week 1 games.
Because they lost last year, but because they lost to Tampa week 1.
Well, you also have to think about, Rob, is you have to consider is that everything that could possibly have gone wrong week 1 for us went wrong.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we've beat week 1 to death. We've beat week 1 to death.
Yeah.
That every single thing that could have possibly went wrong happened.
Absolutely.
We had bad turnovers. We got behind quick, and then we couldn't get out of that quicksand.
Yep.
And and that didn't happen. Like, if you remember, week 1 last year came down to we only won that game because they missed a field goal.
Yep.
It's not like we outplayed the Titans. We kept it close. We didn't. We were 2.5 feet in one direction from losing that game by a point.
Right.
I mean, I think to PTA's question, then I'll turn it over to Sal. Right? I don't think that there's an issue with the coaching.
I think there's a big issue with that.
I can't agree with that at all.
I think there's a big issue with the coaching.
I don't think necessarily that it's that Dabes isn't coaching good or that Mike Kafka's not. I think it's the level of competition that we're going up against, where the coaching staff cannot cover up for the lack of talent on the roster that they could last year. And it's showing, in my opinion.
Go on Sal has an opinion on that. If not, I kind of want to jump on that.
Yeah, I actually don't think the coaching is all. I have a hard time believing veteran coaches have suddenly developed a problem. I would agree with Antonio that the offensive scheming has changed, where they seem to want to put it more on Jones's arm. And I think that's probably a byproduct of, hey, we paid you, we want to see what you can do. And there is an element of that, I think, here, right or wrong. Some of it is also, I think, let's be honest, like the offensive line is not very good. We lost Saquon Barkley, and you could say what you like. Play action is only effective if teams are going to bite on the run, right? And if you're not worried about Gary Brightwell and this offensive line producing anything in the run game without Saquon Barkley, you kind of are less, you're probably not going to bite on it. So I do think that there's a little bit more emphasis in terms of trying to get things with his arm, with Jones's arm. But to be fair, they brought in Jalen Hyatt, and if you listen to Dable, they tried to dial up explosive plays in the San Francisco game, which I always thought was the only way we had a shot, was to try to like take some shots early, get a lead, and they just never materialized, right? Like whether it was because the receivers couldn't separate, I'm not sure. I think they did. Jones didn't take the shot on some of them. The line broke down on some of them. Whatever it was, it didn't work. So I think that's the only real difference in the coaching. And I don't think that's like a failure of Mike Kafka or Brian Dable. I think they're trying to adapt to the injuries, to the loss of Saquon Barkley, and to try to see what they have in their quarterback, because that's kind of what you pay him for, right? It's like in these moments, can he lift up the team and put points on the board? When it comes to defense, I really don't think Wink Martindale has been doing a bad job at all. I just think, look, is Wink Martindale dialed up a defense that got us into 3rd and long how many times against San Francisco? Right? Several times.
True.
And what did the 49ers respond with? They threw bubble screens.
Yep.
And like Carl Banks talked about this. Just make a fucking tackle. Right. Like seriously, make a tackle. Like if you tackle these guys, those they punt. they're not first downs and touchdowns. So like, how many of those drives led to touchdowns where we blew a 3rd and long? Right? I stopped counting. Like,
I think 3 or 4. I was going to say 3 or 4, but
I think there was at least 2 on one, at least 2 or 3 on one.
I think the total was
like
they were like 8 of 10 or 9 of 11 on those 3rd and long. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so again, if you just make a tackle, like that game is a different game. And I think part of the reason the Niners kept going back to the well is because they're like, these guys aren't making tackles. Like we're going to beat them. We could throw a short pass, and our guys have a decent shot of taking the ball forward, getting yak, and they're not going to bring us down. What's Wink Martindale supposed to do, right? Is he supposed to walk out there and be like, wrap your arms around somebody and learn how to make a tackle? Like, it's just, I don't think that's coaching at an upper level is my point.
No, that's effort. That's effort. That's effort.
It's effort. It's something, right? And now if you listen to Xavier McKinney, if you want to take it a step further, I do think a lot of those missed tackles were guys trying to swap the ball out and get turnovers. And if you're kind of reading between the lines of what he said in his frustration, I think a lot of this is they're just frustrated. The offense can't stay on the field.
Hey,
I think the defense is worn out, and they're trying to cause turnovers. They're pressing and they're making mistakes. So this is complementary football in the worst way possible. Like the offense can't do anything, and the defense is pressing and making mistakes. Guys, we saw this in 2021. We saw Patrick Graham's defense. I didn't really like Patrick Graham, but his defense held up for most of the year, and held up, and the offense did nothing and nothing, whether it was with Jones or with Fromm or whoever. And then finally they broke, right? They just broke.
Exactly, and eventually, when you have an incompetent offense, you'll see at the end of the year
beats down your defense.
Stats are going to be 27th, 25th.
Yeah. I'll tell you that it's from experience, from actual fucking experience. I've been on a team where the defense was fairly good, right? Good enough to where we could make the stops, but the offense was just non-existent. And I tell you what, man, after a while, the defense is just like, fuck the offense. Hey, what are y'all doing, man? Like we hate them. We hate them because we out here getting
the Jets right now.
Bro, it sucks. It sucks when you're on defense and you're on the field all day. Your offense is not doing anything. Like it's demoralizing. Because like, how many more fucking stops do we have to make before y'all pull your heads out of your asses? Like It's the worst. It's the worst.
What year did we see this again? This kind of performance? What year?
21. In Joe Judge's last year, Patrick Graham's defense played pretty well in the.
Here we go.
Here we go.
People at home, prepare yourself. Rob is about to say something asinine.
PTA, what did I say this year was looking like?
Man, shut up, Rob.
What did I say this year was?
Shut up, Rob.
2021 all over again.
I didn't say all that. I said that.
I did. No, I did. I called.
No, he did.
Shut up, Rob. Yeah. Because you're wrong.
Okay.
But that parallel for now, I think, is playing out on I think it's affecting the defense. I really do believe that our offense's anemia, their inability to do anything, move the ball, get first downs, it's really beginning to wear on our defense. And I'm telling you, these guys are trying. They're pressing. They're trying to swat the ball loose. They're trying to get turnovers. And when you're playing that kind of football, you're gonna miss tackles. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna give up big plays. And I think we're seeing that. The only other comment I would make on defense is, like, if there's one criticism I have of Wink Martindale, I have just one. Otherwise, I think he's basically the same good coordinator. I do think his usage, and this is an old problem of his usage of our edge rushers is a little questionable. And I think he did this. I mean, that's just his style, though, right? He puts them into coverage way too much. He asks them to, set the edge over rushing the passer. And, I think if you're going to overcome that as an edge rusher, and I'm specifically talking about Kayvon Thibodeau, you just got to be better. You got to hand fight better.
Why is Kayvon dropping back into coverage?
Yeah,
somebody's going to explain this shit to me. Why is this man dropping back in coverage?
So this is what we, and here's the thing, is this is what we knew we were going to get with Wink Martindale. We knew that there were going to be games where we got good Wink and defense is flying around and we're doing all this stuff and nobody can move the ball on us, and that's great. And then we're going to get a bad Wink game every so often. Right. And this was, let's face it, man. Let's face it. It was a bad Wink game. Right.
Guys,
and I know what you're saying, Sal, about, people like pressing and trying to knock the ball out. You know what works even better than knocking the ball out and trying to get turnovers? Just putting the guy on the fucking ground. Put the guy on the fucking ground, end the drive. 3rd and long, you fucking get up there and you jam them so they can bubble screen for short yardage. Keep them away from the sticks. You drop them for short yardage, and they're punting, not moving on. And that's the thing.
Were those 3rd and longs, were they in their own territory most of the times?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
And I agree with you. Sarge. I'm just saying, like, I do think that there's an element of that, but I fully agree with you. Like, just make the fucking tackle. Like, the players in front of you. And Carl Banks talked about, if you want to tackle, you got to hunt like a wolf pack. He made that comment, right? You're probably about my age, Sarge. You remember, like, these
I'm probably older than you are.
Maybe. But you remember the concept of the gang tackling back in the 90s, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, just swarm. Like, the ball goes in one direction, everybody
this whole
goes in that
thing
direction.
of, like, hitting a guy with your shoulder and trying to drive, like, that's not going to work. You got to wrap these guys up and take them down to the ground, right? And I watched was it Raiders and the Pittsburgh game? They were knocking each other all over the place, and even the announce crew was like, man, this is like some old school football right now, because they are knocking dudes over. They're wrapping it up. They're tackling guys.
So I just want to say
that's what I want to see. I want to see, like, wrap the son of a bitch up and take him to the ground. Don't worry about punching the ball out. Get him on the ground. Right? We'll worry about getting the ball back.
You see guys near the tackle, like the guy who's making the primary tackle, standing around. And what you hate to see that. Like, you want to see these guys swarm the guy with the ball, and everybody should hit that person. And I think that's the best way to tackle.
In terms of the Kayvon dropbacks in this game, you guys have to understand the cause and effects of injuries and guys missing games and us having a thin outside linebacker room. You're not going to ask Jahad Ward to drop back in coverage. It's not going to work. You're not going to have Xavier Jimenez and Tibbs at the same time on the field, because they're going to get fucking trampled. So you have to understand that the reason why Kayvon dropped so much in this game was because Azeez Ojulari was not in that game, and that's it. When you in a 3-4, if 3-4, you're not sending both outside linebackers. That's very rare that you're going to see, where the 3 interior linemen on a 5. They did play a lot of 5-man fronts, because the 49ers were in 21 personnel and there was in 12 personnel. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna run all 5 guys down, because that's gonna leave somebody wide open in the flats. And a lot of the times they're either those outside linebackers are dropping hook to curls, covering the middle of the field, or they're dropping flats. Unfortunately, Kayvon, which is a victim of circumstance in that game, I guarantee you that we're not gonna see Kayvon drop that much once Azeez Ojulari comes back on the field.
I hope not, man, because I need this man. I need this man pinning his ears back. I need this man pinning his ears back. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, let's look forward to Monday, right? So, big game against the Seattle Seahawks, right? They had a couple of big games back to back where they scored 30 points, or 37 points, excuse me. And I think one of them was against the Lions. I don't remember who they played this past weekend. I can't remember who they played this past weekend. And I know the knock on them is that they've been having some injuries, but they're getting some guys back, right? Jamal Adams is going to be ready to go. I think Tariq Woolen is going to be ready to go. I think they're getting two of their offensive linemen back. I think it's their tackles, Cross and Lucas, I think are going to be back. And their backup line that they had wasn't doing a bad job. So what are we thinking going into this week, with this game? Because I think right now this game right here is I think it's make or break for the Giants season, especially with the two games that follow this game. And obviously we're not going to get into that, but this is a make or break game for the Giants, in my opinion.
So, Rob, their previous schedule was week 1, they lost to the Rams. And then week 2, they beat Detroit in overtime. And then last week they played Carolina with Andy Dalton, not Bryce Young.
Okay. And Carolina's got a decent defense. I don't think they've got a great defense, but they have some pretty good players there on the defensive side.
And they scored the most points of the season so far with Andy Dalton at quarterback. So yeah, but I don't think yeah. We'll take whatever you want to do with that. Go ahead.
Yeah. But what do we think? Whoever wants to go first, going into
I'll jump in and I'll say this. Because you mentioned all those injured players coming back, we just don't have a big enough sample size on the Seattle defense and to know how really good are they. But what we do know is that offense is dynamic. It's right now, I think, the fourth points per game. They're fourth highest in points per game. They have improved since last year. It's really scary. This is what I'm really afraid of, right? I think that this game, it's either going to be a really good game for the Giants or a disaster for the Giants. I don't think there's going to be an in-between in this game because, again, when the Giants face a really high-powered offense, they usually tend to look really bad in those games. But what I'm just this is one of the games that I had penciled in as a Giants win because it was kind of like a revenge game from last year's ass whooping.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
But again, I'm on the level right now that it's either gonna be we're gonna look really good and we're gonna trample them, or we're gonna look really bad and they're gonna trample us. And right now, unfortunately, because of the Giants, all we gotta go is by how the Giants have been this year. Giants are tied for the worst offense in football right now, and we're going against a top 4 offense. It's a small sample size. That's one thing that you can hang your hat on. But as of right now, I'm leaning towards Seattle to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten what? So 4, 8, 12. So we have 12 quarters of football so far this year. And the Giants as a whole, maybe not as a whole, but maybe offensively have only looked good for 2 out of those 12 quarters so far. And that was the second half against Arizona. So Sal, your thoughts going into this game and what it means for the Giants, this week and maybe for the season.
I've been saying this, that the Seattle roster on offense is constructed very similarly to the 49ers. They've got a good, not elite quarterback, but he works their system perfectly in Geno Smith. They have have enormously talented weapons in the wide receiver room in DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and now JSN. They've got monsters in the run game in Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. And they have a good, not great offensive line. This is very similar to the 49ers. They put up the points, like Antonio said, they put up 30 points per game. They do it they barely break a sweat doing it. And the way they do it is they feed off their run game. And Kenneth Walker is extremely elusive. He breaks a lot of tackles. We're having trouble taking guys down. That right there, unless we fix our tackling issue and our run game issues, is a bad situation. And so I'm expecting them to score. It would be great if our defense could do something to change that, like whether it's cause turnovers or get sacks. That's kind of like how you can maybe impact their offense. But let's just say they play their offense. They're going to put up 30 or right around there. I don't see a way we win this game unless we get into a shootout and we can win it. And their defense is not amazing. Like it is definitely a defense you can take. Here's the problem. They were a defense you could take last year too. And if you guys remember the talk going into our game against them, they were one of the worst teams against the run, and we were dominating against the run. Do you remember that? And they
I remember.
absolutely destroyed us on
They
defense
sure
in
did.
that game. They and you know what they did? Because our run game was not just Saquon Barkley last year. What was working was the RPO game and feeding off of Daniel Jones running, right? That was the big difference maker. Like it's one thing to have a great running back like Saquon Barkley, but if you have two great running backs like Jones and Barkley, basically coming out of the backfield who are ripping off huge runs, like you can dominate teams. And all they did was said they basically were like, let Saquon get his. We can't stop him, but we can spy Daniel Jones. They put a spy on Jones. They didn't let him out of the pocket, and they forced him to throw, and he struggled. I don't know, whatever it was about their defense, he struggled. That was his worst game of the year, even though it wasn't a great defense. So they dialed up a defense that fed right into our weaknesses, and then they put up points. And they can eat. I can see them doing the same thing with our team struggling. So I'll be honest, guys, I'm not very optimistic about a win in this game, as much as I agree that the season is very much in balance. Like it's hard to go down 1-3 with the two guys with the teams coming up on the schedule. But man, like the only pathway I see to victory in this game, honestly, is a shootout. You're going to need second half Arizona Daniel Jones and offense to come out swinging. And you know what? They could, right? Like Andrew Thomas should be back. Ben Bredeson should be back.
Barkley,
O-line should be
back?
better. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Not
Okay.
confirmed
Barkley is day to day.
Day to day.
Right now.
He has a high ankle sprain. So let's just say he's realistically not coming back. But even if he is, I don't expect him to be very effective with a high ankle. So and trust me, like I'm sure Seattle will be like, fine, if he's back with a high ankle, let him play. The guy we're worried about is Jones. We're not letting him beat us with his legs. And they'll play whatever form of zone they want to play against him. And I just feel like we have to beat them and score a lot of points. If we're playing offense anything like the other 10 quarters of this past year of the year so far, I have a bad feeling, like Antonio said, that we could get run out of the building in this game, and it's kind of scary. Like I don't think they're going to dominate us right away, but I have a feeling like this is one of those games where it's like something like 17, like 14-10 at halftime. 14-7 at halftime, like something relatively close, and then they just kind of run away because our offense can't keep up with theirs, and that's my fear in this game.
I just want to add something to what Sal says before Sarge goes. When Sal's on point, bro. The Seattle Seahawks are the most effective team off of play action. They lead the league in 342 yards passing off of play action. That they're literally on offense. They are the New York Giants 2023 kryptonite. We cannot stop the run, and then we're going to bite so hard on play action. And by the way, one thing that if I want you guys to check Geno Smith's next gen stats, that kid is not afraid to throw it above 20 yards passing. I think he's up there. I'm not sure exactly where is he ranking right now, but last game that they played, he had 7 passing attempts of 20 or more yards. The formula to win in the NFL is explosive plays. You got to take your shots downfield, even if it's not going to work. He only hit 3 passes out of the 7. That was still good enough for them to put up, I think, 29 points last game. And that's it. Like, it's a very simple formula that I wish the Giants adapt moving forward. They need to look at Seattle and try to be like, we need to be like Seattle.
Well, hopefully, if Seattle kicks our asses, right, then they'll say that, because I'm going to be completely honest. This is not a game that is a bad matchup for the Giants, right? I personally don't think it's a bad matchup. When we talk about stopping the run, right, we've clearly not been all that great at it. Like we clearly haven't been, which is baffling to me, because we have players that are good run stopping, defenders, and so I do agree that if we can stop the run, then we mitigate that play action, because that is what Seattle was like. Seattle was super good at play action, and I don't know if we take shots down the field, like I feel like Tone is spot on in regards to the fact that, like, you got to take your shots. You got to take your shots. We got these players, right, who are burners. We got these players who are fast. Let them haul ass and take a shot. Like I don't understand why we're not doing that. Rob, tell me how you feel about this game, man.
I mean, for me, with this game, I think it's I agree with what Sal said and what Tone said. Gino's got 8. I think it's 8 right now from what I'm looking at, because he had 7, I believe, in one game as far as like his attempts to throw. He's got 8 passes completed of 20 plus yards so far through 3 games in the season, which is huge. And, right now, I just think with the way that we're playing, we're struggling against the run. We brought in guys like Ashawn Robinson, Nacho. You had Jordan Riley, who had a great preseason, a great, training camp. Had a good showing, I believe his first game against Dallas, made some plays. Obviously Dallas beat us, but you look in some cases, you look for, the bright spots, in an ass kicking, and he made some plays, and he's been inactive the last 2 weeks. So with the injury to DJ Davidson, right. Because I think he hurt his elbow or something like that, or shoulder.
This is a great point.
He's going to be back in the lineup now, right? So, we're going to get him back. And again, he's not some world beater, but he made some plays, right? We're struggling against the run. And I think with Kenneth Walker, like what Sal pointed out, he's elusive. I think right now, either he's leading the league or he's top 3 in breaking tackles right now in 2023. He's able to make the first guy miss. And we are struggling to rally to the football as a team. So we need to be able to do that. The other thing too now is you have young corners, and with the play action and everything like that, you've got young corners now that you're going to be asking to go up against DK Metcalf, JSN, and Tyler Lockett. And there were a lot of opportunities in the game last year that Gino just didn't connect. I think DK only had like 56 receptions in that game, but he had a touchdown, and they were struggling early in the game to really kind of get in sync with him. The same thing with Tyler Lockett. And now you're going, and that was against Fabian Moreau, Adoree Jackson, and I think, Darnay Holmes. Now you got 2 rookie corners that are going to be going up against Adoree Jackson. And then the safeties right now, other than maybe Justin Pinnock, our safeties are playing like dog shit, to be honest with you. They're not playing very good. So, we're going to get they're going to try us deep. And I just don't like us from a defensive standpoint going up against their offense. And then from an offensive standpoint, if we can't get the running game going in this game, they're going to do exactly what they did last year. They're going to spy and bracket Daniel Jones, try to keep him in the pocket, and they're going to force him to win the game from the pocket, and which is something that Daniel Jones struggles to do. Daniel Jones is the best when he gets going with his legs, getting outside the pocket, finding guys, creating plays with his legs. That's when he's at his best. And if they force him to stay in the pocket, he is going to struggle, and it's going to be check down, check down, check down. And I agree with you. You say, hey, why are we not throwing it deep? I say, Brian Dable said they had a bunch of it dialed up last week. The quarterback just didn't pull the trigger. So you want to know why we're not throwing it deep. I say, ask your quarterback why we're not throwing it deep.
That's fair. That's fair, because his processor still looks really, really slow. All right. Here's the last 2 things before we wrap up tonight. We always do it the exact same way. So first thing we're going to do our hot takes, and then we're going to do our predictions for the game. So I'm going to go ahead and do my hot take. Then we're going to go to Tone. We're going to go to Sal. We're going to go to Sarge, and we're going to go to Rob last, because his hot takes are always the spiciest. Okay, here's my hot take. The Giants defense will create 3 turnovers. 3 turnovers will I'm not going to say whether it's a fumble or interception, but the Giants defense is gonna produce 3 turnovers. That's my hot take. Tone, what you got?
That's hot. Oh man, hot take for this game. Micah McFadden is going to continue his hot streak, and he's going to have another. He's going to follow that game with another hot game. I'm gonna go with that. It's not that hot, but yeah, I want to go. I don't want to swing. I don't want to swing to the fences. I don't want to swing to the fences.
It's a little. Listen, man. We take chances out here. Sal, give me your hot take.
It's not that hot a take, but my hot take is that the Giants' #1 target and most productive offensive player in this game is going to be Wan'Dale Robinson. I've seen enough to know that he's clearly our best receiver.
Minute. This take is a little bit warm. Wait a minute, Wan'Dale, huh?
The mighty might.
Wan'Dale Robinson is
I like
this. I mean, he was our second round pick last year. I loved the kid at Kentucky. Absolutely loved him. Did not like where he was drafted, but I loved his tape. I thought we might take him in the 3rd or 4th round. But anyway, he is a productive player. He's a good guy to get the ball to, get it in his hands, and see if he can produce. He looks healthy. And something that's gone a little unnoticed from his early tape this season that was not evident last year is his route running. He was never this crisp a route runner in
Very
Kentucky.
crisp. I'm glad you pointed that out.
He's definitely, I don't know when he did it with his injuries, but he looks really sharp at the stem, running really nice routes. He's going to create separation. And if you know one thing about Daniel Jones is going to look for the guy who has the most separation, whether it's short, intermediate, whatever. He sees a guy in a clear throwing lane, he's getting him the ball. Like he's not again, this is not a knock on him. He's just not the quarterback that's necessarily looking for like the difficult throw. That's not his game. He's looking for the clear throwing lane. That's the type of quarterback he is, and you can win with a guy like that. You just have to design really perfectly around it. Wan'Dale Robinson will present the clearest throwing lanes for him, in my opinion, in this game. So he's going to be our leading receiver.
All right, I like that.
Nice.
Yo, I like that. I like that one. Damn.
And I'm glad you said that too, because his first route, the first pass he caught, that was a clean fucking route. Cut.
That was a nice ball.
It was a fucking nice
route.
Nice route by him. So that's a nice. All
right,
take,
Sarge, give me your hot take.
Well, you stole mine. So I'm gonna have to tweak it just slightly. You said 3 defensive turnovers.
Three defensive turnovers, yes.
All right. Well, then I feel like I need to.
I mean,
all right. So here's my hot take. This is this. That's it. The rookies ball out, and this is what it's going to be. This is Hawkins and Banks are each going to get an interception.
Ooh, I love it.
Jalen Hyatt gets 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Oh shit! So Wan'Dale Robinson going off fucking
Jalen Hyatt's stat line is going to be It's going to be 2 targets, 2 receptions, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns.
God dang, we about to win this game by 100, y'all. All right, Rob. Hey, you're up, man. Give me your hot take.
Okay. So I've got 2.
You always have 2.
So first, with McKeithen being listed as the starting right guard going forward, I think we see the best performance from the offensive line thus far this season against the Seattle Seahawks.
So shootout.
Giving us an opportunity to perform on the offense. Second, I am going to say that we will have 2 100-yard receivers in this game.
Let's go.
Okay, we will have 200-yard receivers. However, it still won't be enough. But the 2 100-yard receivers, the 2 100-yard receivers,
asshole,
will be Wan'Dale Robinson and Darren Waller.
When was the last time we had a 100-yard receiver?
Wandell Robinson.
No,
Wandell Robinson got 100 in the Indy game when he got hurt.
In the regular season, it was Wandell, but total last year, Hodgins, because he had like 108 yards in the playoff game.
That Vikings game. He had a crazy.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal, though. Okay, here's the deal. The fact of the matter that Daniel Jones did not throw 2 touchdowns in this past game opens up the possibility that this motherfucker might.
According to authentic stats, it means he's due.
It's time for him to go off.
Indeed. Going off of that statistic, yes.
All right. So now, let's go ahead and do game predictions. We're gonna go to Rob. We'll go around. We'll close out on me, and we'll get this thing, right off into the sunset. So, Rob, hit me with your prediction, man. What's going to happen here?
Oh man, I really, really, really don't. All right, fine.
Just say it. Just say it.
Fuck,
Just say it.
I'm going to pick the Giants to win this game.
Hey, Rob, yeah!
I'm going to pick the Giants to win this game.
Yeah!
Because and for no other reason than I think I just with the aura that normally surrounds this team, for some reason they always fucking keep hanging the fucking carrot in front of us like this.
Just when you think you're right.
Just when you think it's gonna. It's like the guy with the. It's like the guy with the fucking.
This is the Michael Corleone game. This is the Michael Corleone game.
You gotta be a little bit quicker than that. I'm gonna pick the Giants in this game to win, and I say the Giants win this game 27-24. Graham Gano game-winning field goal.
Sarge.
So the Seattle Seahawks have only. I was pulling up these stats and I looked, and the Seattle Seahawks have only led once in the first 3 weeks, and that was against Carolina. It was in the fourth quarter. They had to go to overtime to beat the Lions, and they did not beat the Rams. So, New York Giants win in overtime because you know what? It's Monday night. We're going to keep you up late.
Oh, man. I'm going to be
40. There. New York Giants are dropping 40. I don't want to. You know how many times they struggled to score 30 points? We're dropping 40 points.
Get the fuck out of here.
40-37.
All right.
In overtime.
Fuck, Sal, man. Hit us with your prediction.
I wish I could share your optimism. I don't think the Giants are winning this game. I hope they do. But I think the Seattle Seahawks.
Sorry.
I think
what?
Yeah. I fucking touch you, bitch.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. Listen,
it's a reflex. I can't help it sometimes.
Listen, my brain. Listen, my brain.
It's a reflex.
My brain wants to pick Seattle, but my heart, for some reason,
it's a reflex. Sometimes I just talk and it happens. I mean,
it's fine.
Whoa! Hey! We've got our own version of if the Giants win. If the Giants score 40, Dan Cassidy is going to give $200 to your favorite local charity. If the Giants put 40 points up, all right. Okay. There you go.
I'm picking Seattle.
I'm going to hold you to that, buddy.
I'm picking Seattle to win this game. Seattle 31, Giants 20.
Sal, I need you to come into the light just for a second. Just come into the light.
You're gonna hit me?
No, I'm not gonna hit you.
You're gonna hit me.
I love you, brother.
I'm so late. There you go. I love my face.
Just no. Just light it up just a little.
Figuratively too.
The beard is coming in really nice, Sal. That's what I wanted to talk about. But
hold on. Give me a second. Let me turn the light on so you can see.
See, now he wants to brag.
Look at my fucking beard, bitch. That's what hell. Yeah, look at this shit.
Hold on. Let me turn the light on. Give me a second.
Now he has to turn a light on.
This motherfucker went to
CVS. He wants to brag.
This motherfucker went to CVS, got some Just for Men. Now look at him. I mean, like,
look at that. There you go.
Looking crisp, all lined up, looking good. Okay.
Everybody in the show right now got good-looking beards, man. Let's go.
I will say this: if I find out that any of you are using that beard, that Just for Men shit in your beards,
Just for Men,
then I'm coming.
I'm
This
gonna
is
use
not-
it eventually.
then we're
I'm gonna
coming.
use it eventually.
Hey, you know,
No. Because I'll tell you this, and then we'll get back to scores. Read reviews on that.
Okay.
If you have sensitive
Toxic?
skin at all, that shit will eat your face.
Okay, so
It'll
maybe
eat
I
your
won't
face.
use that. Maybe I'll use it like a natural.
pustules. Weeping pustules is the word I'm going to leave you with.
My
nasty.
wife always asks me because my beard, like I'm getting grays in my beard. She's like, "Are you gonna dye your beard?" I was like, "Fuck no, I wanted to go white."
No.
Wait,
You earned this.
Your girl
You
is saying that?
earned
Your
this.
girl
Yeah,
saying that?
she asked. She's like, "Are
Do
you
it.
like when your beard gets
Do
like
it.
gray? Are you gonna dye?" I was like, "No, I'm not."
You
gonna
should
dye
see
it."
what's going on up here now.
Do
It's
it.
all-
How
Nice,
fuck-
bro.
I'm doing
You know what? I
whatever
just
my
love the
wife wants.
gray.
My fiance
Wait,
wants me to dye it. I'm dyeing it.
Wait. Here's my question, Sarge. How in the fuck is the lower half of your beard fucking gray, but the upper half of your beard's fucking black? What the fuck's going on with that?
That's just the way it happens, man. It's just the way it happens.
The lower part is older.
That don't really no fucking sense.
No, but here's the thing. No, and I'll tell you this, right? If I pull a hair, right? If I pull a hair, it's white the whole way or it's black the whole way. The white hairs are all longer than the black hairs. It's
Yeah.
just the way it works. I don't understand it.
For
That
you, Ben, who
doesn't
do,
make
for
sense.
those of you who don't
I've
have
got
the white
buddies.
hair,
I've got buddies who have like it's black, and then a perfect strip of white.
like Fu Manchu. Listen,
No, yeah, it
For
looks
the-
like It's,
for
his
the-
beard is super
Yeah.
long, and it's black on the sides, and just white strip from his from his bottom
if
lip
you
all the way down. We call him the Badger because it looks like he's got a badger hanging from his face.
Sarge, are you a D&D guy?
Am I a D&D guy?
Yeah.
A little. I used to. Oh, you talking about this?
Cool.
Back
Yeah,
here?
because I see stuff. I mean, I know that's the Marvel and stuff, but I'm a D&D
this is all
guy
my-
too, man.
These are all my superheroes.
Hey man, why? Hey man, we all fucking nerds up in this
Hey,
bitch. I
let's,
like
let's
D&D.
get
You know what I
let's get a
mean?
D&D session on.
Hey yo, man. Yo, we
I'm
might
gonna turn the light off again.
Yo, you know what? We might
That'll be
have
an interesting live stream. Is a D
Yes,
as a
I would love to do
New
that.
York Giant fan D&D live stream.
Yo, I
we
would
might
love
have
to
to
do that.
do that. I might
love
be in
that.
on that. We're gonna talk about that.
DM. Whoever's down at
Yeah,
DM.
we'll,
Yeah,
we'll
because I
talk
can't
about that.
DM. I can't DM. I'm not gonna DM, but I'll play.
With the listen, I think we caught Sal watching college film for his podcast.
I'm watching the Michigan Rutgers game.
That's all this dude does is watch.
That's a-
film.
Yo, Dan,
Hey,
that's a
hey,
special
wh-
to the Giants.
hey, real quick side piece. Obviously check out Sal, check out Monty with their podcast. He's a giant, great stuff. You guys touched on because you're watching the game, and I'm only asking because you're watching that game. And I forgot his name, but number 65, you guys were talking about him, the offensive lineman from Michigan. How good is he playing in this game thus far that you're watching?
You're talking about Zach Zinter, the right guard?
The right guard, number 65.
Oh no, he's
The guy-
great. Yeah, no, he's great. So Michigan, I think, will have the most draft. I like watching Michigan games because they're going to have the most drafted prospects, I believe, this year. They might be more than Georgia. They are absolutely loaded. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Not
so
if
Zach
Howie
Zinter's
Roseman has anything to say about it.
Yeah, they're not going to all end up on the Eagles, thank God. No, so like, there's a couple.
I can't
there's a
watch
few guys-
Georgia games anymore just because I know Howie Roseman's
Yeah,
going to fucking
just-
scoop them all up.
Quick aside before Tone goes and gives his prediction, but Michigan has guys that line up nicely with the Giants' needs for next year at like across the board. So let's say just starting from the top, if the Giants want to take like either a day one or a day two quarterback, their quarterback JJ McCarthy, he's somebody you could look at. They need a running back for sure. Blake Corum on Michigan is pound for pound the best running back in America.
He's
He's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, I know his family. He's from Marshall, Virginia, which is actually very close to a town I used to work in. And so his family knows friends of mine, and I know some of his like relatives. Nice kid.
Sal, you in VA?
Yeah, I live in Northern Virginia.
Oh shit, I do too. We got to link up. I do too.
All right.
I didn't know you were up here.
DM me, bro.
I hope we don't get him because that means that we're gonna have to probably draft him the first round.
Well, no, he's not a first. No. I mean, nobody's taking him the first round. Maybe a second or third round pick. Probably
And
second.
he's
but
the best running back in college football right now.
in my opinion, pound for pound, he is.
considering
he tore his
the amount
ACL
of
year.
and considering the amount of quarterbacks that are coming out this year,
Now,
somebody
Yeah,
somebody's
but you
going
guys
to
think
reach a
it's not
little.
gonna be
You
one
mentioned their
first round?
quarterback. Is he a
Yeah,
first
so
round quarterback?
McCarthy
or
is
like
probably a borderline first, second guy, depending on how he plays the
Yeah,
rest of the
he's
year.
a
But
yeah.
the
well,
guys that the Giants may legitimately have early interest in from Michigan, and I'll let you go, Tone, after this. Zach Zinter for sure, the guard, the right guard is very good. The problem with him is again he's probably like an early second round guard.
I don't
So
want it.
he's good though. Like he's really good. The dude is he's a fucking bully, is what he is. And like when you watch him, he just stands dudes up and he just knocks them the hell over. And he just played.
Hopefully, we'll
he
have a
played-
new O line coach by then.
Yeah, thank God. That's another issue. But
Let me ask you a question.
but their defensive line, you're like this, Tone. They actually have they have a linebacker who's good too. But their defensive lineman, I love this kid. He's I think a first rounder, Chris Jenkins Jr. That's Chris Jenkins' son.
Oh,
So,
yes.
so
Mhm.
this
Does he
guy,
fit? Is it
I know
would
that.
He fit in a
Yes.
3-4?
what happened?
Would he fit in a 3-4?
Yes, he would. He fit in. He's a 3-tech, right? So
Okay,
he's
okay.
basically a 3-tech. This
Oh,
kid,
perfect.
bro,
Perfect.
he
You're
you
talking
got
about Chris Jenkins, the former Panther?
yes, Chris Jenkins.
Yes.
It's his son.
That's his
Great
son.
play.
So
That was
his
a good
son,
player.
Well,
like
Chris
this
Jenkins
kid,
was a big boy too.
so that was the era of like bigger DTs where these guys
Mhm.
like 350 pounds, right? This kid is about 300, but he looks like he's about 250 because he's built like a fucking
Aaron
like
Donald type of dude.
yeah, he's a beast, bro, and he's got incredible athleticism. Tone, you know what a Turkish getup is? You probably know, right?
I've never heard of
Work.
that.
It's like a workout. It's a fitness
exercise.
test. It's an exercise, but I mean, you should look it up. But the point is, like, it's this thing where you hold a weight over your head and you're lying on the ground and you slowly manipulate
I
your body.
know
to go
what
back
it is.
up
I just
standing
looked it
up.
up right now. I know what that is.
Right. So, like, if you're doing that thing with like 40 or 50 pounds, it's a challenge, right? As a workout on the dumbbell. This dude did a Turkish getup with a 170-pound dumbbell over his head, which is nuts.
That's ridiculous.
He was number 6 or
Jeez.
7 on the Feldman freak list.
Oh, I want him.
His clean and press is like off the chart. And when you watch him, he's got such good balance. His leverage, he's like on the ground. And you can't get under him. Like offensive lineman, like the ball snaps and he's just up under their chest plate and he's got them off the ground like immediately and he pushes into the backfield. So he's already elite in the run game. He's developing his pass game. That's why I'm watching these games of his to see if his pass game comes along and it's coming. He's going to be like probably a top
He's a first
20
rounder. He's a first rounder.
Yeah, I think by the end of the year he's like a top 20, 25 pick. So he's a guy that I think is a good Leo replacement. Anyway, that's my aside for these guys. So there's some college teams that are so loaded with talent they're worth watching every Sunday.
Sal, would
So
you
if I
be
don't get to every
okay?
Saturday,
Because right now I'm so like I don't want to waste any more high resources on offensive line. But
I
would
agree.
you be okay to spend like getting that Michigan right guard like you mentioned right now in the second round?
it depends. I mean,
How the
in
season
my
plays out?
opinion, yeah. To me, like Sarge hit it on the head. I'm not letting this offensive line coach pick any more players to ruin them.
Yeah.
I
Dude's a
I
bum,
want him
man.
right. I mean, I want him
He's a
gone.
fucking bum,
I mean,
man.
you
They
guys know, like,
legit
if you,
fucked up Evan Neal. Like
he
this
did
is
right.
this is like Weston. This is almost Weston Richburg level of criminality.
It's bad, and you guys follow. Like you guys have probably followed me and Monty have been like pushing all like the agenda we've been pushing all summer. Like this dude, like you said, Tone, this bullshit with like the line rotations and stuff. Well, guess what? Not one dude other than the tackles was set on a position. So now when guys are hurt, there's just no consistency in the line, and guys are shuffling around even now. Hopefully, it settles in now, but. That's a problem.
They did justify that a little bit by putting Glewinski at left guard when Bredesen got
You know what? You know what I find
funny,
though?
That's the only legitimate
But
reason that they
I
have.
can't have this guy take any more assets and ruin them.
Oh, yeah.
We need
No, I totally 100% agree.
Yeah.
You know what I find funny though, and then Tone, I'm sorry, we'll let you go. Marcus McKeithen, we didn't hear any word of him rotating from right or left guard during training camp.
No, but he was hurt though, wasn't he?
He was.
No,
Not
I think
this
he
year.
was not. Well, and he was able to
I don't think
practice. Like
so.
he was practicing in training camp, and I think he was able to play.
He played in the preseason.
But
I think he only played in the last game.
he might have played in the last game. I think he played in the last game. Yes, he played in the last game. But I think it's funny how he wasn't rotating, and yet he looks in my opinion, over the course of 2 games, looks better than Ben Bredesen and Josh Azudu when they were playing guard.
I mean, I
In-
don't think he
in
looks
my
all that
opinion.
good. He looks fine. Like I don't think any of them are very good right
Well,
now.
and see, that's the thing. That's all we really want right now is we want a serviceable offensive line.
He's serviceable, and I think I would leave him alone.
And if it, and moving forward, he's better than Mark Lewinsky.
Yeah, I don't
Go
think we're going to see Glowinski unless people start getting hurt.
Fucking Glowinski.
Yeah, I think if for no other reason than just you need to know what these guys are, I would just leave McKeithen at right guard. And look, if Josh Azudu is your swing tackle and he can be a good swing tackle, leave it alone. Let him be there. And just see how these guys play through the rest of the season. So I just want to know what they've got and then get a new coach in. Anyway, that's my aside on the O-line and the college stuff. Just Monty and I are going to be doing the offensive tackle for whoever's interested. We're going to be recording offensive tackle review tomorrow. So we'll, there's some really good prospects at the top end there. I don't think we
just make sure Monty's on time for our show. That's all I ask.
He's going to do your thing first. We usually do our thing late.
All right. Tone, give us your damn prediction.
All right, I'm with Sal on this one. It's not gonna be good. Julian Love revenge game. Julian Love gets a pick six.
Oh shit! I forgot.
Julian Love
forgot.
completely tells the Seattle defense how to play against Daniel Jones, and it's gonna be a 34-24 game.
Shit.
Can I change my prediction?
Nope.
No.
Nope. All right. Well,
John, clip that.
I'm going. Yeah, John, you got that. All right. So cool. I'm gonna go ahead and give mine, and we go get out of here. I got the Giants by 4. Okay, that's what I'm going with. I'm going with the Giants by 4. I think we match up against this team well, and I think we can bounce back here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Tone, man, plug your shit before we get out of here.
I got nothing to plug this year. I still haven't made anything on YouTube. I would just say just be on the lookout for any film breakdown that I got. I'm gonna start doing more film breakdown. I'm gonna get back on the saddle and just start talking more Giants ball. And I'll try, for those that are in love with Daniel Jones, I'll try to stay away from Daniel Jones. But there's plenty enough to break down on this team that's not Daniel Jones. And I'll go ahead and pull some breakdowns that are not about the quarterback.
I'm sure KP loved your Micah McFadden love that you just gave him.
Yeah. Yo, BBS is in the house.
Again, and those are two guys. Listen, and I still think Daniel Belton is going to show up. I think that we would be better in the run if Belton is on the field and Xavier instead of being Xavier and Pinnock. But I do think that we're going to see good things out of Micah and of Belton in this year.
And a quick question: is Flott hurt?
No,
it's just that he's not even. The three corners are Hawkins.
Well, no, because I'm only asking because I don't remember what game it was. I think it was the Arizona game. But Darnay Holmes got fucking cooked, and I'm like, why is Darnay in the game and not Cordell Flott?
Because he can tackle.
Exactly. That's the
because he tackles too well. That's his problem.
Bro, he tackles well. Like one of the things that why we're not good in tackling this year as it was last year, well, we had Julian Love and Darnay Holmes on the field. Guys that don't know how to cover, but guys get to fucking tackle like a motherfucker. Sorry for the language. And those guys
we curse here. You're good.
Who gives a fuck about the language?
Yeah,
Darnay would, in my opinion, would be a really good
linebacker
or a safety.
Just put him. Yes.
Yeah, like he can tackle well. He can drop into he's the kind of guy in short area coverage. He can be really good.
That's a great take.
I think that's why he fits well in a zone system. He's out of place in this system. But if we ever have played a zone system again, like that, like a zone heavy system, Darnay would play really. He'd be better than our safeties.
Darnay has value to the team out there, man. It's just they don't know it yet.
Yeah,
come get him, guys.
All right, Sal, plug your shit.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Queens_guy. Please follow our pod at He's a Giant that I do with Monty. We drop an episode every week. We go over the Giants and we go over college football. We do position by position, top 5 prospects and 2 sleepers. We're going to go through all 11 position groups, and we're right now up to number 6, I think, in offensive line. So if you guys want to follow us, we'll be releasing on Twitter, and just follow us on Spaces. And we love the interactions. This crew right here knows what it's about.
He's the guy with the Mike Munchak picture.
You guys already know where to find Sarge at because he's always here, okay? So listen, we're going to go ahead and close this out, man. We went an hour and a half, and it didn't even really feel like it. I appreciate all y'all coming in and hanging out with us. Thank you very much to Tone. Thank you very much to Sal. Thank you very much to Sarge. We would greatly appreciate you. So for all of them and for RZeroB, I got to go over here and go to the brand thing, you know. And
You guys like my outfit?
Thing, and the outfit's good,
Bro,
man. I think you got a couple. I think you got a couple pieces you got to go deliver. So for Rob, for RZeroB, I'm your boy PTA. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, thumbs up, do all the shit. Go follow everybody on their things, and we will get up with you guys later. Deuces. Where's the thing?
Oh, you're fucking it up.